I went on the Juggernaut show with Max Aida and Chad Wesley Smith. That was wild. Yeah, because there was like some other people there that knew you, and we went together, and you were like, "Yo, these people are a big deal." I was like, "I have no idea."
Yeah, they were the best weightlifters in the country at the time. They were lifting with Max, and I just like hung out with them.
Yeah, that was okay. So we're like 4, and I know we had a few more. I can't.
Barbell Shrugged was one of them.
Barbell Shrugged was wild, dog.
Remember we showed up like 2 hours earlier or something, so we just found some coffee shop in Encinitas that would let us in, and we got coffee.
We slept on them,
and we fell asleep in the coffee shop.
I think we trained before too. I think we went in. We took a little napski. I mean, I remember just being out, like literally just baking in the sun, like haven't slept in 2 days. Oh, because we haven't even got to the best part about the fucking camper van we slept in. I still have that video.
I do too, man.
It's so funny. I'm gonna see if I can pull
it up. Yeah,
is it actually? Oh, it better be in my favorites.
I look at that periodically.
It's so funny.
Yeah, you were proper large at that time. You were probably like 275, dude, sleeping in the crow's nest.
So I was ready to go though, because my plan was okay. So basically, no money. We get the most inconspicuous rental car of all time. We wanted to hit that. You know what it was? I just got sponsored. I remember that
on weekend. The car ride to Juggernaut.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I got sponsored by Universal for powerlifting, and I was like, you know, so unbelievably hyped. They like put it up on socials and all this shit, and I was like, this is the best my life's ever going to be. Like, it's only going to get worse from here. But in the interest of saving money, I have it right here.
Amazing.
Dude, so we rented this. So if you guys aren't watching on YouTube, you'll have to watch. Yeah, Jesus. That's people wonder why I have high blood pressure now. And so this is me doing the MTV Cribs tour. Yo, the number of tweakers in this backyard was nuts. I remember looking at it at night and just seeing eyeballs like blinking.
Yeah. It was like a compound. I remember waking up in the morning at like 6 or so to someone filling up the water tank on the trailer so we could take a shower.
I don't remember that at all. I don't think I showered, but I remember. So this video, if you guys are watching it, I'll post it on Instagram when this episode goes up. We're doing a tour of this camper van. It would have been like $60 a night. It was literally an RV. This is the moment I realized where I was sleeping. Just like, wait, I'm sleeping up here.
Oh,
and God. So that's where I slept on that fucking crow's nest. You were down on the bed. And like my plan was if anyone breaks in, I was coming in off the top ropes. Top ropes. And you were just gonna, you were gonna take them to the ground with your wrestling skills. And I was just gonna use gravity to crush them. And so yeah, we did that. And we Barbell Shrugged, Alex Viada, Juggernaut Strength, Quinn Henoch, the Wellness Force guy. I thought we maybe snuck in one more. I can't remember. I'm gonna be kicking myself because I'm pretty sure it was 6 in 3 days.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. I can't remember. Did we do one in Venice?
Maybe. Anyways, doesn't matter. We'll have to go back and fact check it. Yeah. But so that for me was like, the reinvestment into that. And much to your point of like, hey, you saw a ton of value in being able to collaborate with people and have conversations, and the podcast being a good vector for that. But I think the success of those outreaches was because people knew that we were doing shit, right? Like when the reason Barbell Shrugged or, Quinn or any of these guys would give us a second look is because when they gave us a second look, it was like, oh, this guy's, on Team NorCal CrossFit at Wadapalooza. Like this is like a guy. Right. And this, the lesson in this, I think is, a lot of people start podcasts and they're not taking that first step in providing value, right? Like your Instagram was at 10K followers and, you were well recognized in the CrossFit community. So then when you reach out to have these genuine conversations, people who didn't know you still knew it was genuine because you were taking that first step and providing value without them. And there's licensing, there's value to be licensed from you in this transaction, right? And I think that was what really catalyzed some of these early conversations because we were able to get, you had John North at one point. We were able to get these interviews down in SoCal. I remember Josh Bryant, which like in my world specifically and really in the strength world at large, like that was really cool. Rob Hall came on. That was awesome. Who are some early guests for you that you're like, oh, yo, I can't believe we actually have an opportunity?
Dude, one that's really funny to me now, because he wasn't like big early on when I
I know
had
where you're
him
going.
on. Was do you Zach
No,
Talander?
no, no, I don't. Okay, I wasn't gonna go that route, but yeah, okay.
Okay. Um,
Wait, you had Talander on?
I had him on early days before I think even when he just started doing YouTube stuff, and like he started just doing really good, valuable YouTube stuff around weightlifting and programming. And he had like some ideas that I hadn't heard before. I'm like, yo, this guy's fucking, he's good. He's got it figured out. Or he's at least like, doing something really cool. And then it's cool because he like, dude, he blew up now. He's big now. He went like every which route, and now he's got pictures of him like playing music with Conor McGregor and shit like that. Like he went like the country music route now. He's like not as much in the fitness world. But he was a really cool one that I found early on. I liked what he was doing. I'm like, yo, dude, you want to like do a podcast and like talk about this? And I literally just exploited his time. I just asked him every question that I wanted to ask him.
No shit, man. So I had him on a couple years ago
Yeah, I know. You guys
after
did
the
like
Liver King.
Liver King. Yeah.
Yeah. So he broke the Liver King story. Yeah, no way. So who I thought who you were gonna say was Cashew.
Oh, Cashew was a really good one too.
Dude, that was the first interview that I think for me when I took a look at like our style, because our style was very like our early episodes. If someone's into like training and into like the details of programming and wants like a how to on knee, hip, shoulder, back, squat, deadlift, overhead press, all that, like we used to go in, like we did like exposés on regions of the body and types of training. Like it was probably some of the more, it is honestly, and after a decade I can say this with some confidence, it's probably some of the more detailed training information that exists in the podcast space. Hard stop.
Yeah, we had a really cool like kind of dynamic at first because you and I didn't inherently agree on a lot of things, but we didn't inherently disagree, right? Like we just had very different perspectives from our experience in our past on training, especially when you were like big in on powerlifting, I was big in on CrossFit, that we'd come at things from like two completely different perspectives. And I feel like we'd end up agreeing on our perspective at the end of the episode, but like how we came into it was almost a little bit confrontational.
Well, I mean, I think one of the things that a lot of people said was they liked that, because people don't realize that when CrossFit, because CrossFit really was like the lady in the red dress. Like CrossFit was the hot chick in fitness, right? Like it got all the eyeballs, all the attention, all the money, and it really was like it grandfathered modern day powerlifting. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So the power lifter, like, it's powerlifting's lame now. And back then it was cool. And one of the cool things to do as a power lifter was to hate CrossFitters.
Yeah, yeah.
And, like I saw you train. I knew I know your academic background. Like I know you as a person. And it was like, so like there was never any contention, but I think a lot of people saw that as like, yo, there's this podcast with this fucking power lifter guy and this CrossFit dude. And they kind of go after it a little bit. Where I never saw it as that, but I definitely think like the perspective having different lenses was like, and I think it's true to form of the way we do business, and the way we come together to make decisions is very true to this idea that we often end in a very similar place, but
Mm-hmm.
both of our ability to show our work and how we got there usually makes that end place better.
Yeah.
Because the thing that got me with the Cashew episode was that was probably around the time where I started feeling comfortable doing things that weren't so training detailed, right? Because the
Mm-hmm.
Cashew story was, so you had set it up. I remember
Mm-hmm.
we met at your office, and I had no idea what I was walking into. I didn't know anything about his background. I knew a little bit, maybe. What company was he a part of?
I believe he founded Brute Strength, which was
Right,
like,
that's what it was.
yeah, they were like a gargantuan in the space at the time. They had taken CrossFit training away from like just do a WOD and then do another WOD and then do another one, and they had like broken it into like, no, that we have a gymnastics coach that was like a national level gymnast. We have a national level weightlifter. We have a widely regarded endurance coach, and we have like CrossFit coaches as well. And they had kind of taken this almost like S&C approach to CrossFit, which I thought was like really cool. And they put out some of the best athletes in the game at that time. And like I got connected with him, and I just through like being in it and competing, and like I was working with like him and his team at the time, and I'm like, yo, this dude has like a crazy story. And I'm
Do you
like,
do you remember what he said that kind of broke the whole thing open? Do you remember the exact? Like, I always remember it verbatim, dude.
dude, it's I mean, I remember the gist of the story, but it's like he was like hanging out with some people, like his buddy was like pretty deep into drugs. I think he was too. I don't want to put that out there if he wasn't, but like his buddy fucking OD'd and like died, and then like that just shifted his whole perspective on things.
Well, do you remember? So I'm going to go back and listen to it because what I remember is burned into my brain. I mean, 8 years later, was on the day of my friend's funeral. From when he OD'd from drugs, rather than going to his funeral, I shot up for the first time.
That's it.
Right,
Yes.
and I was like, oh, that you can talk about other things other than back squatting.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was big, like, because like, we've talked about some like we've gone off on many different tangents now, but that for me was like a pivotal moment of like, dude just can't, like, I didn't fucking know who this guy was. I was like,
Yeah.
Jay, you sure? You're like, this cool story, great brute strength. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And dude, we're 35 minutes in, and I'm just like, someone cutting onions out here? What the fuck's going on here? Like, that was like Anthony Kiedis scar tissue level, like just raw. And I was like, oh, this is not just like how long should we periodize of handstand walks for? This is like real shit. And that for me, like, totally will forever have changed my perspective on podcasting. And it was just him just being like, yeah, dude, what it was, my friend died, and rather going to his funeral, I fucking shot up for the first time. And I was like, holy shit, dude, that fucking still sends chills down my spine.
I know. It's fucking crazy, man. And that's like, I don't know. I think there's a good parallel in what we do. Like I find a lot of meaning in training that I bring into the decisions that I make every single day in life, and vice versa. And I think like things like that, like life lessons are life lessons, regardless where you pull them from. Like if your buddy's ODing and you're shooting up instead of being at his funeral, or like you're making decisions around training, like they're representative on like the human dynamic, the thought process, like the way people go about living their lives. And like I think there's kind of a deeper thread beneath all of this that like we get to kind of dive into in the podcast is like, all right, like why are we making decisions around the things that we do, or like why do we care about the things that we do? And like, yeah, it might seem meaningless, like equating that to exercise, but to me that's just like you said, a creative outlet. It's like both you and I, we've had our life experiences, I think probably more than most people our age, and I think that's probably been the case like even since we were younger. Like we've kind of been through some shit, we like talk about it, we're both deep thinkers. Like I think our outlet for that is talking about exercise, but we bring in a lot of life experience and like a lot of decision making properties that we've learned not necessarily from working out, but there are parallels of like concepts and intentions and rationales that we have that echo into day-to-day life that have allowed us to be successful in the things that we pursue outside of weightlifting.